Beginning writers will sometimes ask me, what does revision actually look like in practice? How do we actually revise something? Here is a paragraph from a rough draft from a client of mine who was writing about a family situation, and a relative passes away, a grandfather passes away, but he's on the other side of the earth. This is during the COVID pandemic. They couldn't go and visit him. So let me just read this rough draft. This is a rough draft and explain what I think needs to go on here in revision. There's a good starting point here. We have a wonderful start, but how do we make this more real, more immediate? So I'll read this paragraph and then explain what I would do with it. As the days blurred together, so did our worry for my grandfather's health. His laughter, stories, and boundless love defined our family, and the thought of losing him felt like a personal earthquake. In April, the devastating call came, announcing his passing due to a shortage of oxygen, a cruel consequence of the pandemic's grip on the world. The distance seemed invincible as my dad's anguish scream echoed through the house and shock settled in. Unable to travel to India, we fought with the reality of not being by his side in his final moments. Miles apart, we witnessed his cremation through the lens of a pixelated screen. Unable to physically comfort our grieving grandmother, my dad's cousin stepped in to fulfill the rituals that distance denied my father. Through a virtual memorial on Zoom, we came together to honor a man who had been the cornerstone of our family. So actually really well written. But to me, this is a summary of a very long period. And actually this person, has the seeds of a memoir here, but really it could be expanded just so much. So in that first sentence here, as the days blurred together, so did our worry for my grandfather's health. To me, that could be blown up into multiple paragraphs. As you show, your relatives talking about his health, what's wrong actually when we don't know here. So that those details are really important to explain. Then in the second sentence here, we have his laughter, stories and boundless love defined our family, and the thought of losing him felt like a personal earthquake. Again, can we show maybe a flashback to grandfather, maybe years before, laughing, talking, showing his love to the family. There's so much potential to expand just that whole sentence. And then we get the phone call. So this is the catalyst of the story. But we don't actually hear the call as readers. We don't get the call, when did this happen? Was the author at home? The phone rang, his mother answered, or his father. What did the father say on the phone? There's just so much there that I want to know. I want to know about this situation. And then here we get his father's anguished scream through the house. Okay, that's immediate. That's a moment. But I want all the context around that. I want where he is in the house. I want to know what the author had said. Did the author come running down the hallway to find his father, slouched, with a certain expression on his face? Just more details. He also says they were unable to travel to India. So was there a conversation there where they thought about traveling, but they couldn't get their vaccine passports or something like that? Whatever it was needed. Show that. Right there, you've got a couple paragraphs to expand on. And then apparently they do the cremation. They're witnessing it through a cell phone or a computer as relatives on the other end are showing this for them. Again, so much detail missing that we need to see. Like, where is this cremation happening? Who's holding the phone? Maybe that's showing it to them back in their country. And then, of course, the cousin steps in, and then there's a virtual memorial on Zoom. So those are more scenes that just could be blown up, could be expanded, could be made bigger to really show the experience. So again, paragraph is a good start. The author is obviously a talented writer. But in a paragraph, I'm only getting a little taste of what are clearly some very moving moments in this author's life. And expansion is the key word here, is just to expand these things. I don't know how many words this is. It's just a paragraph. You could have 5,000 words if you just expand each of those individual parts. Get dialogue in, get people into the story. People are very distant here. They are summarized. They're not fully developed. So there's a lot of opportunities here, I think, for him to expand that. And really, you could have a whole chapter or more on all of this.